This is my third time recording. You would think after the first run it would get better, but keep making mistakes. Anyways, this is a casual presentation of my capstone projects. Yes, projects, multiple. Yeah, so I'm currently working through an IBM professional certification for data analysts. And in week 4 and 5, we are working on data visualization. So week 4 is more creating graphs, charts, and tables with SQL and Python. And then week 5 is working with dashboards, interactive dashboards through IBM Cognos Analytics. So let me show you my work. There we go. All right, so week 4. I did the work in Jupyter Notebook, and then I ran into a lot of problems with contacting or like connecting to the database. And then I decided maybe I can just download the SQL file and then use Pathfinder, like manually connect, but that wasn't working. And then finally, I decided just to move everything online. So I moved the Jupyter Notebook as well as the SQL file database onto IBM Watson Studio. So from there, I successfully connected, and here it is, 100%. And that is a database I was trying to connect to. From here, I began to extract different types of data from the tables, and then the groups from the tables as well. So blah, blah, blah. And actually in the process, I also delete irrelevant data. So by irrelevant in this case, I mean data that are non-existent. So sometimes respondents will not answer every question on the survey, but if you replace the empty data with 0, that's going to skew your average. So what I decided was just to take them out. And then I worked with the data that was operational. And then from there, the prompts would ask me to create different types of visualization to represent what I found. So here is a histogram of age. No, not age. Oh yeah, here's how I dropped the irrelevant data. And then here's a histogram of like the cleaned up data. Yes. And then here is a box plot of age, scatter plot of age compared to work hours week or work week hours, bubble plots of work week hours and code rep hours. There we go. And then the pie chart of the top 5 databases. I have not worked a lot with the databases, and so after this certification, I would like to explore MySQL, MongoDB, and PostgreSQL or PostgreSQL. There's not much variation here. Median work week hours versus code rep hours by age. Oh, and it's because my age span is very narrow, 30 to 35. Here's a line chart. Here's a bar chart. So nothing fancy, but it represents the data that I'm querying. So that is week 4 assignment. Week 5 is a lot more fun as you can interact with the interface. So I don't know if you're familiar with VLOOKUPs, HLOOKUPs, and what's it called? pivot tables on Excel, but this is a fancier and more elegant version of those functions on Microsoft Excel. The Microsoft Excel, I feel like it's more manual work, whereas here, as long as you import all your files, it is very intelligent and it codes the different variables for you, and then you can basically drag and drop. And there are more options in terms of like representation, what types of charts you can create compared to Microsoft Excel. And I just think overall the interface is easier to work with. The only problem with this one though is it's very glitchy, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the type of computer I'm using. I'm on Mac and it doesn't seem to like Safari. So I've moved to Google Chrome, but even then it locks up quite often. But its pros outweigh the inconveniences. And so like I like how the theme applies throughout the tables or the charts and graphs, whereas with the pivot tables, there's not much creativity to the visualization. It's functional. It gets what it needs to be done. Let's minimize. Let me reset the charts. Okay, so that's fine. Top 10, top 10, top 10, and that doesn't have a top 10. Okay, so I created 3 dashboards or like 3 tabs, and this has an overview of technology now and technology in the future. So the first tab shows how technology is used currently. And according to the survey, here are the top 10 languages, coding languages that are used. I use Python, which is in the middle, and then SQL. Oh, good. I'm glad SQL is up there. I'm hoping Python will climb in its popularity because it is one of the easiest coding languages. And that is the general consensus of most programmers and developers. But personally, I think so too. I've explored Swift, HTML, C, C++, CSS, and like only Python stuck with me. I like Swift as well, but Swift is similar to C and it's only used for like the Apple ecosystem. What I like about Python is it's more universal. You can use it for data analysis and data science, which is what I'm interested in. I am not as interested in the web development, but hopefully in the future I can become full stack developer. So that will require me to actually tolerate the design, the app development aspect. I'm not too into web development either. Yeah, I just like data and playing with data. As my professor says, when you're working with statistics, you're basically playing in a data playground. Like you get to manipulate the data, look at how they interact with each other, and that's what I find most thrilling. So anyways, top 10 languages worked with, and then top 10 databases worked with. I had no experience with any of these. Like I said, I want to familiarize myself with MySQL or MySQL, MongoDB, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, and MariaDB. I see those popping up quite a bit. And then platforms worked with. I love that the Raspberry Pi is represented here. Yeah, eventually I would like to explore Microsoft Azure as well as AWS. WordPress, how is that popular? I don't like WordPress. It's okay. Not time to rant. Okay, so let's go ahead and start filtering. Let's say I'm a Mac OS user. Oh, AWS, you were there. So so for cloud computing, I want to explore AWS, which is with Amazon Web Server, I think, and then Microsoft Azure, which is obviously with Microsoft. Let's look at Mac OS. If we're using this platform, the most popular language is JavaScript. Oh yay, Python climbed the ladder, and MySQL. Okay, all right. And what's the biggest? That's Ruby. Oh no, I lied. That's React. Yeah, I don't know any of these frameworks. So yeah, this is just an example of how you can filter. My friend, he's a developer. He's basically a full stack developer. He uses PHP a lot for his work. Let's see. Oh, okay, so it's on Mac OS and Windows. Okay. All right, so that's kind of the snapshot of technology right now. If we look and project into the future, Python does climb. That makes my heart happy, and so does SQL. Okay, so they're very close to each other. That's good. And then post GRE. I don't know why I'm saying GRE. GRE is for the test, the graduate test. Okay, PostgreSQL SQL. Oh, this chart is my favorite on this dashboard because it's simple, it's monochromatic. These are beautiful, but they could be overwhelming because of all the colors. And what I did was I made the text contrast to the tiles. And so this is called a heat tree map. The tree map is a hierarchical graph. So the tiles represent its hierarchy. So it's in proportion to its hierarchy. The bigger the tiles, the more popular. And the smaller it is, the less popular. And with the heat aspect, the darker the shades, the more popular or the more prominent it is. And then obviously the lighter is the less popular. So yeah. Let's see. Let's click AWS. With AWS Shell. Oh, no, go back. Shell and PowerShell are most popular. I don't know if is that a scripting language? Anyways, oh wow, Python's pretty down there. I only know one of these, which is Flask. I heard Flask is very easy, like a very elementary, friendly platform to create websites with Python. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, these all look very foreign to me. Anyways, let's move on to demographics. For here, I have, let's just say sex, because I made it binary. So here is the overall representation of the respondents for the survey. Wow. Women make up such little portion. I hope this will change. And then the average age seems to be in the 30s, early 30s, late 20s. How does this spike at 72 plus? I'm guessing these are like the old establishment, like the OG tech people, like Gates or something. 72. Oh, that's no value. 99. Okay. But heart, that doesn't seem right. I don't know a lot of 90-plus-year-old tech people. Anyways, this seems to be, from face value, seems to hold, because if you think of like Silicon Valley and a lot of the current tech leaders, they are quite young. And then this one shows the level of education by gender. $178,000. Symbiotic 1. Wow. Goodness. Okay, hopefully this gap will change as well. But according to this, it seems the gap will close very slowly. Let's see. So instead of like the whole world, let me filter and see how it looks in a particular region. I think Europe does a lot better with like gender equality, and especially in terms of pay. Oh, I was wrong. Still way more men, but look at their ages. A lot more variability. Oh no, it just zoomed in. Okay, still in the late 20s and early 30s. Interesting. 25, 25, and 30 are the most popular. Wow, it drops in between then. Alrighty, then let's check another region. Let's look at Africa. Only 2 representatives from Sudan. Let's look at Kenya. 20. Nice. All right. Higher percentage of women than Europe. Oh, huh. Just 1. Okay. That's unfortunate. Let's look at Asia. Okay. Yeah, all these trends seem to basically mirror the universal trend. All right, let's go back to the US, the land of opportunities. Peaks at 27, 29. So 28 in between 27, 29 would be 28, this bar. Okay. At least there are more women. Let's see. We looked at Africa, we looked at Asia, we looked at North America. Let's look at Paraguay. Wow, all men, and there are only 4 representations. And they seem to excel in their early 20s and late 30s. Some college, secondary school, bachelor's. Okay, that's interesting. So it seems degrees don't quite reflect their ability to get in the industry, because the bachelor's or like the higher ed seems to be the smallest block. And then their biggest seems to be in the technical associate versus some college. Oh, okay. All right. So that the entrepreneurs who don't need higher education, self-learners. Okay.
anyways, I hope you enjoy looking at the data with me. And that is the end of my capstone. Actually, that's not true. I have one more week. For week 6, we have to put all of these findings onto a PowerPoint. And then luckily we don't have to send in like an auditory presentation. But yeah, so this is basically it.